Hi, I'm Elaine Burke from Siliconrepublic, and this is the HTC One M8. So this is the HTC One M8. It's an upgrade on last year's HTC One, which was one of the most revered smartphones of the year. Won all the awards, won all the critics' hearts, and they might just have made it better in this version. The 5-inch 1080 by 1920p display, HD display, is not as bright as its rival Samsung Galaxy S5, but it has a great depth of colour to it. You can kind of see this in the stock background that they've given us here. The blues and greens show up really well. The variation between them is really clear, and this isn't, when we compared it with other smartphones that we have here, like the Nexus 5 and the Samsung Galaxy S5, the depth of colour in the HTC One M8 really stood out. The design is also really high quality. It's got a all metal unibody, and there's this brushed metal finish, and it's got these tapered edges here. So even though it's actually about 9.35 millimeters thick, which would be a bit on the thick side for a smartphone with this top level, the tapered edges don't make it feel that thick, and it's curved and it sits quite nicely in your hand. At the front here you've got these dual front-facing speakers, and the M8 is also equipped with HTC Boom Sound, which gives the sound quality on it a real boost. They don't have the partnership with Beats going on anymore, but I don't think they need it. I think what they've done with Boom Sound, with the built-in amps and the bass to treble balance, it has completely overruled what they did with Beats. The sound on the HTC One 8 even outdoes the HTC One of last year. The front-facing camera here at the top is a 5-megapixel selfie-taking machine. It also shoots video 1080p at 30 frames per second, and it's got a HDR mode for all your backlighting problems as well. They've even actually named the front-facing camera the selfie. On the rear camera, you've actually got a duo camera module and a dual flash, so it's almost like having two for the price of one. The reason why they've put this in there is for features like the U focus. So we'll go back to the rear camera here, and if I was to take a picture that had a lot more objects going on, just snap that there, go into the image, and if I go to edit here, we've got a whole list of effects. And there's even some helpful instructions guiding along the way here to add duo effects. So U-focus, foregrounder, seasons, a 3D dimension that uses the duo camera to let you to tilt the phone and make it look like things are actually moving in there. We'll see how that works. So if I then tilt the phone, you can see the image moves as the phone moves, giving this sort of 3D effect. Seasons is also something that's kind of a juvenile tool on the camera. Just adds these animations, dandelion, maple leaf, snow. They're all quite nature-based. Whereas if you use something like U-focus, you can add more depth to the images and choose what to put in focus, whether it be in the foreground, middle ground, or background. Now, for a top-line smartphone, you might be surprised to know that the HTC camera would only be classed as 4 megapixels. But these are ultra pixels, as HTC calls them, and they're said to capture 300% more light than the average pixel. Does this mean that the 4 megapixel HTC duo camera stands up to something like the 16 megapixel in the Samsung Galaxy S5? When it comes to low lighting situations, you could still be disappointed. No smartphone camera has really achieved a great level of detail and great levels of photography when it comes to low and challenging lighting, and HTC is no exception. Something that does make the HTC M8 stand out from the competition is the Blinkfeed. So they've partnered with a wide variety of content creators on this, from The Guardian to 442 to IO9 to BuzzFeed. No matter what your interest, they've tried to cater for it. And you've also got your social media feeds inside there as well. So if I just select an article on Blinkfeed to view, it loads up, I can scroll through, and then if I swipe, I can swipe through the rest of the article, so I don't have to go back into the Blinkfeed to view it. Once I tap an article, it appears straight away. And it's just a really nice and easy way to consume content, and that's what a lot of us are doing on mobile, so why not make it easier? So this kind of ties in with the look of the M8 in terms of the user interface. You've got Android 4.4 operating system, but overlaid on top of that is HTC Sense 6. And when you look at things like the native apps that come with it, like the calendar app or the messaging app or your email app. The design is really flat, really clean, really modern and up to date, and I mean, they've obviously paid a lot of attention to upgrading everything to keep it bang on trend with where web design and mobile design is going. Also, in terms of interacting with the M8, you've got new controls, gesture controls, and the motion launch technology. So if I go to a dead screen here and double tap, the phone wakes up. I can also swipe to the right and Blinkfeed automatically opens up, and swipe up and I've unlocked the screen. So this is all without having to go through the unnecessary time that it would take for you to just press the standby button and then do that. It's just a bit more automatic and a bit more seamless. There's also motion launch controls to launch the camera using the holding the phone in landscape and using the volume button. As a Brucey bonus, we also got the dot view case to review with the M8. So I'm just going to pop it in there to show you what this does, what extra it adds to the device. I just double tap, just like a double tap wakes the screen usually. It wakes the screen with this dot matrix view to give you the time, let you know if there's notifications there. If there aren't notifications there, it will give you some graphics to tell you what the weather is like. Actually give you a view of what that looks like by clearing the notifications. And there we go, it's raining outside, brilliant. While this is really nice, and that's something that I quite love about the case, and the fact that it adds a bit more durability to your device, what I don't like about it is that if I open up the phone and I just want to use it one-handed, it does this. Or I have to fold it back, and if I fold it back, I can't use the camera at the back. And it's just, this is a crucial design flaw and what could have been a really nice addition and a great accessory for people to buy. Another problem that I have with it is that the tiny holes will actually leave a tiny hole pattern on your device. So the normal ground that would fill up your screen is filled up in the dot matrix pattern instead, and it might just look a bit jarring to the eye when you look at the screen and there's all these tiny dots on it. So good and bad points for the dot view case. But the dot view case aside, the HTC One M8 all by itself is a fantastic standalone phone. There are gaps in what it provides when you compare it with other devices, but what I would say for the HTC One 8 is that it's the media consumer's phone. You've got Blinkfeed to get your content, you've got amazing boom sound to listen to your music or whatever it is you want to with speakers instead of in your headphones, and the interface is just fantastic, second to none. And that's the HTC One ME.